Hey, welcome back to Mike's Diabetes World. Well, let's take a look at our numbers, shall we? We are at 14.3. Have had my stack, but I've been high pretty much all day. Okay. Current active current active insulin is 5.5. It's getting close at 4. I will do another calibration. And if we take a look, we'll move this over. Still very low at 58% time in range, 42% above, 58% in range, and 9.1. Not a good thing. Today, I want to discuss my appointment with my diabetic nurse. I know we just did one of these, but I warned you it was coming. So stay tuned and we'll be right back. This channel is provided for informational purposes only. Contact your physician for any diagnostic or treatment plan. Now, something that else that we need to add to this. Yes, this is going to be about what happened during my meeting with my diabetic nurse. But we're going to take a look at something else that I had to test today. I had an x-ray of my abdominal region. I don't really expect they're going to find anything, but they want to know why I'm constantly having this recurring vomiting and diarrhea issues and everything. In the last video, I mentioned that I went to emergency just because I wasn't feeling well. It was 2 weeks of this recurring thing. I had even stopped doing these videos. So even though it was a weekend, something had to be done. So after I came back from my test with my the x-ray, my doctor came in and asked, well, is there anything that's triggering this? Not that I am aware of. He asked, well, is it the Ozempic? No. So a lot of times this thing has been bugging me for years now. This isn't something new. I think my GP here is partially right. Only partially, nothing more. In that I think my diabetes has somehow damaged my abdominal routines so that I'm constantly having the lows and the highs. Not the low and the highs, but stuff that's going on with my stomach. And why is it affecting my potassium? Which ties in to my appointment with my diabetic nurse. And in this appointment, my diabetic nurse said, your amount of insulin has dropped. The pump hasn't been clicking on the features. And we took a look at some of my blood work. We took a look at the hemoglobin, which is always out of whack. The hemoglobin, hemocrat, and red blood cells are always sort of out of whack with me. I'm wacky. So, what's causing it? My blood sugars seem to go up when my hemoglobin, or not my hemoglobin, sorry, wrong term, my potassium drops. And sort of why? We have to find out why, because something's going on, and I think everything that's happening to me is tied in. We're showing that I sort of have a mild, very, very, very slightly mild infection, but she said my sodium level is fine, so I'm not in DKA. And I know I'm not in DKA. I'm feeling a bit nauseous, but I'm not in DKA. And for those of you who have watched the channel, you know what DKA is. For those of you who haven't, mine stands for Diabetic Ketoacidosis. It's sort of the danger sign. So, I wonder if that is. We took a look at past ratings to see, is my potassium always sort of at a low level? And if so, why? I don't know why. I really have trouble understanding sometimes what the hell is going on with me. But we keep moving on. We decided not to change anything. We're going to meet in a week and we'll go over everything we discussed and see, is my potassium going up? Is it stabilizing? My doctor is away, but Sandra can get a hold of him if we have to. So that's kind of reassuring. I wouldn't say, oh, Sandra, call him because I need a new insulin prescription. That can wait. But if I'm really having difficulty, then he's there. And I've said this before to many people watching this channel, that you really have to learn how to understand your body and build a strong team. Sometimes you get the luck of the draw and your doctors understand you. Other times it's not always so clear, and you have to work with your doctor to come up with a better result. I like to feel I have a pretty good team. I have my endocrinologist, I have a diabetic nurse. These are two positions on your team you should not be without. While on your team, you're the brains. You decide what you're going to do. Your endocrinologist is sort of like the coach. Diabetic nurse is the assistant coach. There's the dietitian. And I've gone for a long time without the help of a dietitian. Years ago, when I first met my diabetic nurse, I met a dietitian, but we kind of didn't continue. And then there was another one, and she left. So I am lucky. And because I have this strong team, I can answer or ask a question and get an answer pretty quick. I try not to call my diabetic nurse or my doctor at home. I'll leave messages. Only if it's really severe will I contact them and expect an answer back. There's been weekends where Sandra and I have been on the phone, and I certainly hope somehow she gets some remuneration for this, because I'm cutting into her downtime. Yes, I'm important, and yes, blah, 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 but I still feel bad about messing up their time off. So you have to be aware and be alert and have your team alert. If you've built a team, you have to make sure you're utilizing them. My eye doctor, retina specialist, twice a year I make the trek into Vancouver and I see my eye doctor. So you have to keep your team informed, and that's why I went off on this whole big tangent. You need to keep your team informed so they know what's going on. So that if you do end up in an emergency, they'll be raring to go. So keep that in mind. I hope you're having a great day, and I hope you never have to have an emergency like we did yesterday, or have to contact your diabetic nurse in an emergency. But keep your appointments. Yeah, you could be feeling great or feel like you're feeling great, but it ends up you're not. So it's important. She's kind of like the watch. He or she's kind of like the watchdog. So stay tuned. Have a great day, and we will talk later. Bye now. My email is mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com. mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com.